Sustainable development is thinking of the now, but thinking of the future as well. It's allowing yourself to satisfy your needs right now without compromising the needs of future generations.
Right now, I don't think that Trinidad is on a path for sustainable development. I think that Trinidad has some very well-established industries and some strong and well-developed sectors, but the reality is that they're not aligned to, in large part, to a sustainable, within the context of a sustainable development framework. Oil and gas. Our economy is based on oil and gas. We should have diversified in a significant way away from oil and gas 20 years ago. Or not necessarily away, but including oil and gas in a mix of economic activities that would redound to our benefit now. So now we find ourselves in a situation where the oil prices drop, the gas prices drop, and so we have to ban our bellies, you know, as people here say. When we should not be in that situation. We should have been able to do something more sensible with the sugar industry. We should have more agriculture to feed ourselves. Trinidad at one point was the breadbasket of the Caribbean, and we should be again.
Cracking open the nut to figure out why people don't act in sustainable ways, even though it should be an obvious choice, it is quite difficult, especially when you're dealing with cultural complexities in the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago is actually a unique case because of its oil and gas history. Trinidad and Tobago experiences many subsidies, which cheapens activities which are not necessarily very environmentally friendly. And there are also a lot of direct transfers to people which promote consumption of goods such as oil, which aren't necessarily the most sustainable. And also because you don't have to question how you earn income like other islands have to look for tourism. You don't see your actually quite rich biological assets as very valuable. So you have a combination of it's cheap to do the wrong thing, but also you don't recognize the true value of your own environmental assets.
Small businesses in Trinidad and Tobago can really make a difference for the shift that needs to happen into the future. Certainly, we have quite a few small businesses that have come about in the last few years. There's a burgeoning sense that people are taking matters into their own hands, so to speak, and really trying to chart a new course for the future economy of Trinidad and Tobago and for our survival, really, and making some really common sense decisions.
Hydrostationing, it's a simple but complex solution. Hydrostationing takes the actual municipal water supply. We pass it through our 4-stage filtration system that is UV sterilized, reverse osmosis, carbon filtration, sediment filtration, and other forms of filtration so that we could chill that water and dispense it into reusable bottles at the event. What actually drove my company into developing this solution is actually being at several events in Trinidad and Tobago, where we have recognized what a lot of people don't recognize is they would see the event, have a great time at the event, but no one sees what happens after the event. At the end of the event, if anyone was to actually be there, they'll recognize that there's a vast amount of plastic bottles that ends up at the end of that event. The bottles are sometimes placed into bins. The bottles sometimes end up at the landfill, which is a problem right now. And some of those bottles don't end up in the landfill. They end up in our rivers or drains. They clog, cause flooding. They actually go into our oceans, our sea floor, and some of our great beaches where people now have to start cleaning up. Sustainable development and being green should be an important topic in the minds of Trinbagonians, simply because of several facts, one of which people may not recognize, that Trinidad and Tobago, though we are a little dot on the map, we actually contribute to one of the largest amount of waste produced per capita in the world. A simple state like Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago needs to recognize that there are solutions that could assist us in maintaining a clean environment, reducing the landfill that exists at the bottom. Hydro station I see as playing a very small but very important role in the whole green solution for Trinidad and Tobago. The goal at the end of the day, everybody would say, is that we want to try to reduce the amount of waste that ends up at our landfills. But hydrostation is a solution that addresses one of those waste products, which is the proliferation of plastic.
The Green Market is in its 4th year. We started in November 2012, November 24th, 2012. I was a lawyer, am a lawyer still, and we work on policy at a very high level, kind of abstract, and so you need practical projects in order to be able to really figure out what sustainability looks like in practice. I think Trinidad is like every place else, that there aren't sufficient definitions and goals and objectives for people to work towards. So I think that Trinidad, because of its wealth from oil and gas, has had a difficult time diversifying its economy. And you can only really have sustainability if you have that. So the main thing that I think we've accomplished is to connect farmers and garden growers directly to consumers. And that was one of the big policy goals in Rio Plus 20, to change patterns of consumption and production. As one of the politicians in Trinidad said, a lot of big words. But essentially, it means that instead of always going to the middle person, the retail person, as you do in the urban environments, you're going to go directly to the people who produce for you. You're going to get to know them. You're going to understand some of their challenges and why certain things cost what they
first use of the New Fire brand was with a monthly concert series that was staged, that we've been staging since January 2014. And that concert series is where we present the very best of the non-traditional music practitioners of Trinidad and Tobago in concert on a monthly basis at the iconic Mascam pub. New Fire Festival was the first ever 2-day outdoor, sustainable, holistic music and art festival. New Fire Festival is about creating that moment to inspire the kinds of societal change that we need to see, the kinds of societal change that for some time now has been absolutely necessary. And so we sought to create a moment where we could really produce that splendor, you know, and to really inspire people. So one of the main things that we wanted to achieve with this festival is addressing the issue of waste. How do we start a conversation nationally about waste, about the culture of waste that we have? So we had several initiatives involved in terms of, one of them, we made furniture out of pallets, you know, shipping pallets. We made decorations out of old t-shirts, which we stripped up and made some really pretty bunting and ropes. Had persons strip up these t-shirts and to make ropes and all of that. We made ashtrays out of food cans, and all of these different kinds of things to demonstrate how we can repurpose waste. So one of the, like I said, one of the main things was to really raise awareness about environmental concerns, specifically waste. We did not achieve some of the objectives that we really set out for. Namely, or mainly I should say, the one that I held closest to me was I was actually being ambitious enough to aim for zero waste. Forgetting that this is Trinidad and Tobago, you know, so it will take a little bit of time before we can get to that point. But we always knew that it was going to be an investment, and it was going to be something that we build upon as we go from year to year. Like I said, it's based on a transformational festival model, and so we know that each festival itself is going to grow and transform as we go ahead.
You know, sustainability is not a destination. Sustainability is really a continuous journey. And it's something that really should drive Trinidad and Tobago, propel Trinidad and Tobago into the future.
Every time you drive down the Beetham and your car is filled with smoke from waste, every time somebody burns up in a fire or a house burns down because you threw your cigarette butt out in the car or you lit a small fire to burn garbage, every single time someone died in a flood, or your car was washed away, or you couldn't get to City Gate because there was 6 feet of water in front of it. That is your decisions, and that is our decisions coming back to haunt you. That's why sustainability